Hi there, it's Mary with Mary's Stampin' Cafe. Well, today I am here on Sunday Simple Stamping. And if you recognize this card or this card, it is from my March Madness free card kit. It's one of the cards. I did it two different ways just to show off the different designer series paper and that beautiful celebration paper. And I had mentioned that this particular stamp set called Softly Sketched would be so beautiful to create some great note cards, put it together in a little package for a friend as a little gift, a thank you gift, a birthday, anything. This Softly Sketched stamp set is beautiful. It has three main images, and then it has many sentiments that go on the outside and inside of the card, which makes it really, really easy. And so I thought today I would go ahead and create my note cards and share with you just how beautifully these stamps stamp out. They're just so, so pretty. So let's get started. So I am using Stampin' Up's note cards and envelopes. They are pre-scored. You get 20 note cards and envelopes, which is fantastic for a great, great price. I'm also pulling in the Happy Little Things dies, just these little dies. Let me show you. It coordinates with this, so you can do your large sentiment, even put in your shading with that. And then you have all these other smaller sentiments that could be then put on and die cut out. So I wanted to use just these two little dies that are part of this bundle. It is an online exclusive. You can see now on Stampin' Up under their online exclusive products. But I love that there's just these two little dies, and I think that's so much fun. And one of the reasons I thought it would be great is because of the sentiments here, to be able to use that a little bit for our cards today. Now, I want to show you how beautifully these stamp. So here I have each of the main images stamped out. I did gorgeous grapes for the grapes. I have crumb cake for our little cotton puffs there. And then I did berry burst on this one. And you can see just how beautiful. When it says softly sketched, they mean it. It's just so soft and pretty. Now, because the stamps are have the rubber with the foam mount here, you can use your Stampin' Right markers and actually color different colors. So you could have your green stems, you could have your colored flowers, and then even do the butterfly a different color if you wanted to. I'm keeping things pretty monochromatic in each of the cards I'm doing today because it is Sunday Simple Stamping. And so I don't want to bring in all sorts of different techniques, although I am doing a little bit of a wash, a little watercolor wash on the front of the card bases. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to grab one of the note cards, and I love the pre-scored cardstocks. It just saves a lot of time. And so here is our base. Now I have Daffodil Delight, and I do have the re-inker. Now you can, if you're going to be doing any kind of blending, or you want to do a little watercolor brush, you can squeeze and push your case together. Oftentimes I don't have a lot of luck with that, so I will go ahead and open up my stamp pad. Let me pull this down just a little bit so you can see. I will go ahead and get my stamp pad like so, and then I'm going to put something underneath so it doesn't kind of tip over like that. And then all I need is one drop of my refill. And then I'm going to grab Stampin' Up's water painters. Comes in a pack of 3 here. I'm going to bring out the big brush. So there's 3 different brush sizes. And this larger one's great for doing little watercolor washes. Now here's a trick. The more water you use, the more diluted that ink's going to be. So I'm really making this spot over here really wet because I want it to be very, very light. See, when I go on here, it's very light. Now as I come down, I want things to be a little darker, and so I see there's a little bit left over here that's a little darker. Now I'm going to put some water right into my re-inker dot here. And you can see that tone is darker than what I've been using. And so I'm going to come in here now, and I want it to blend in. So I start up a little bit there. And then you can see I've got this watercolor wash, and it is gradiated. It does have lighter at the top, and I can come in and make this even lighter and more wet. And even come in again and make that even darker as I go down. Now this is going to stay wet for a while, and I love that. You can use a heat gun and heat it to dry it quicker. You'll notice when you use your heat gun, it'll start to curl your note card backwards. That's okay. Just then put the heat gun on the inside of the card and it will bring it back and lay it flat. So then all I do with my water painter is go ahead and wipe it excuse me, on something, and it's fine. If you don't want all this excess water in your lid, just use a tissue and you can wipe it up just like so. There we are. And that's it. That's how easy it is to get yourself a little watercolor wash background. If you feel it's too wet there, just go ahead and blot it. And I can even blot a little on the top here that will even lighten things up more. As you can see now, that's really light, and I like that a lot. I can come and kind of keep doing that a little bit if I want. And there I've got some great ombre effect on the front of that card. So this one is going to set aside because it does need to dry. You don't want to stamp an image on top of this because it will kind of really fuzz out and really look like it's watercolored and it almost blurry looking. So you don't want to stamp on that unless that's the look you're going for. All right, so let's close that up in our simple Sunday Simple Stampin'. Okay, so now I have 3 that I've already done here, and I've got 2 of them that are quite long in that wash, and then I have one that's a little shorter. And that's because if you take a look at our images, I've got this long one here, and then these 2 aren't quite as long as that one, and so it'll be a nice contrast. So let's see, yes, 2 of them are quite long. I'm going to go with this one right here. And I'm going to start with, the Fresh Freesia. That's right, I thought I was using Berry Burst, but it's Fresh Freesia. And so I have my image with the butterfly on there, and I'm going to make sure I'm inking up really, really well. Now when it comes to stamping, because I have that foam rubber and the foam underneath, I don't want to press down real hard. You will end up getting the shadow edges from around the stamp that you do not want. So I'm just going to hold for a minute. Nice, just a firm pressure, and then I'll go ahead and lift. And then you can see how that Fresh Freesia reacted with that beautiful Daffodil Delight. And how pretty is that? Isn't that pretty? I just think it's so nice. It's so soft, and when they talk about, they named this stamp set perfectly, I think. Now from there, I said I was going to keep things pretty monochromatic. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what sentiment I want to use for this one. I'm going to do the Just Hope You Know. Now when you do your sentiments, you usually would stamp first and then die cut out. But I decided to die cut out a whole bunch of these labels to have. And now I'm going to use the longer one, I think. No, I think this one will be fine. Just hope you know. And we'll go ahead right over, sorry if my head's in the way, and stamp out the Just Hope You Know, just like so. Very pretty. And that's going to come right here, right over. I'm probably going to come over off center. I tend to not do things centered. Close that up. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and use dimensionals for that. Or maybe not. Let's take a look. And I'm thinking, you know what I'd like to do? I think it would be nice to add a little bit of that Daffodil Delight. Let me show you just by squeezing here and opening. I do get some dots there of the color, so let's take that and put this over here. And then I'm going to grab the small point brush. I'll go ahead and get squeezing here. And it's very, very pale. I'll come find some elsewhere on that. And then I'm just going to come here and give a little hint of that Daffodil Delight. There we are. See how I've gone ahead and I've gone a little bit, I'm not quite sure if you can see it, just a little hint of that Daffodil Delight, almost like sponging or using your blending brush, and it just helps to tone down that white, that basic white. All right, I like that. So let's go ahead and put our lid back on, and then let's get our dimensionals. What I'll need to do is trim off here and just get the little pieces here. Can't have a full dimensional. I could grab my minis, but I have this dimensional sheet here that's coming down to the end, so I'm going to do it that way. I also need one more in that center because we want no saggy centers. No saggy centers. There we are. Just hope you know. There we go, just hope you know. And then the coordinating in here, just hope you know you're not alone. Just hope you know I love you. Just hope you know how much you'll be missed. Just hope you know how amazing you are. And so I'm going to do how amazing you are. That would be a great one to send to my daughter. And let's grab a block. And of course I'll be doing it in the same fresh freesia because I'm keeping this kind of monochromatic. I don't have my adhesive labels on the back of this set. Not for any reason, I just didn't get it done. So I'm going to just make sure I have this in the right direction. Yes, I do. That's important. You don't want your sentiments upside down. So I'm going to come right in here. I'm going to stamp. How amazing you really are. Just beautiful. All right. Beautiful. Simple, but just stunning. Look at that. So, so pretty. Now, the other thing we're going to take a look at is you can always dress something up. It's still simple, but I am going to bring in the brass butterflies for this because I think they're just so pretty. It doesn't want to come out of my case here. Let's get it out of the case. Come on. There we are. Getting hung up on the sides. There we go. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab a little one and put that right on the end of the label, just like so. That's pretty. I'm going to grab another small one, and I'm going to have it come right over here, just like that. And then I'm not going to put another one on the outside, although we usually say do things in odd numbers. I'm going to come along and put it right on the inside with our sentiment. Just hope you know how amazing you really are. And that's our very first card, note card with this stamp set, the Softly Sketched. Beautiful. So let me go ahead and set this one aside. I'll take the butterflies and put them back in their pouch. Let's see. The next one I think I'd like to do, let's go ahead with our really pretty stalk. And that's using crumb cake. I love crumb cake. I think it's one of the prettiest colors. So again, I'm going to make sure I ink up really, really well. And I want to use my longest one here. This one or this one? They're both kind of the same. All right. So I'm going to ink it up really well, and I'm going to come off to the side just a bit. And also that same suggestion, do not push down super, super hard. Oftentimes that's a problem. Remember, Stampin' Up's ink is onto the top of the pad. It's always at the top the way that the pads are designed. When you go to close it, it flips upside down. So when it's stored, all of the ink pools down to the top of the pad. And so you've got lots of ink there. And if you push down too hard, you're going to blur all those beautiful details of the stamp. And there we are. Look how pretty and sketched that is. I love that. That is so nice. Now this one, I think I'm going to go with do I want to go with hello? I think I love just that little hello. So let's grab our block again. This is such a tiny one. I need my tiny little block. But I don't have my tiny little block. I'm going to grab my hello. I'm just going to stamp. Beautiful. And I'm going to come right in here for my little hello. I've got one hello, two hellos, three hellos. I love that. And then inside, I'm going to stamp I love you. Because that would even be a wonderful thing to send to my daughter. So let's get I love you. Make sure I'm straight on my block because remember I don't have my labels on here. And I will stamp off over here to make sure I am straight. Looks pretty good. Now, extremely important when you are doing your sentiments that are fine line like this, again, you do not want to push down hard because you will definitely blur or get all that outline edge of the stamp. I love you. So sweet. Hello, hello, hello. Just like so. All right. Now, of course, we have to look at some bling as well. Simple, quick, and easy. I have the pastel adhesive sequins here. And I'm going to use the gold. And I want to use this. Ooh, the iridescent could be pretty. But I think that would be too pink looking. There's different sizes of the gold and the teal looking there and the pink. Very cute. Hello, I love ya. There's our second one. Simple, simple Sunday Stampin'. I love it. Okay, now we have our gorgeous grape to do. Put each of these away just to keep things cleaned up. That sequin doesn't have its adhesive anymore. All right, and then one more. We have our beautiful grapes. And on that one, I'm using the gorgeous grape. Nah, I can keep the card because it's nice to have even do something a little more. I'm going to do this one horizontal. I know, it's a little crazy, but I'm going to. Really make sure I get my center inked up well by walking it on the stamp pad. And I'm going to come over and I'm going to put it right there. Doing horizontal this time, giving a little firm pressure just in that center. I want to make sure that center of the grapes gets done well. And there we are. And I think I shifted just a little bit because you can see it's kind of blurry looking. Yes. So you know I'm going to take this one. And this one is not quite dry yet. Yep. So when I went and stamped down, you can see it. I slid just a little bit. So I'm going to take just a second and grab my heat tool. And I can show you how to go ahead and get your cardstock dried quickly. I'm going to go ahead and dry on the front, and you'll see it start to curl. The paper will start to curl. You can see it happening. So all I do is open the card and do it on the back. And it doesn't take too long, and it starts to then come back on itself. I'll go back on the front. Not doing too much waving so I can concentrate that heat. I think that feels pretty good. And we'll just heat it on this side again to get that cardstock to come back from curling. There we are. And there we are. Oh, there. Little warble there. Okay. All right. So now from that, I'm going to go vertical this way. I like the gradient of this. And now let's try to do this without any slipping. There we go. You don't want to slip. Things will just look blurry. All right. And I still don't like the way I did that. My goodness. All right. The problems I am having with this one, not the stamp's fault, it's the stamper's fault. I'm going to do this without the wash, and then maybe I'll bring the wash in because you saw how pretty it's stamped. Here on my sample, look how pretty that is. Aha. And there it is. There's that beautiful. You can see how I just got kind of not enough on it there. And then on this one, you can see how I slid a little bit, but look how beautiful that is. Now, what I can do, ooh, you know what I'd like to do on this one? I'm going to go ahead and, no, I'm going to keep it with the Daffodil Delight. Let's go ahead, squeeze the lid, and this time I'm going to grab the big tipped again. And I'm going to come around it. You don't want to get onto the gorgeous grape. That would not be good because the gorgeous grape would bleed. And I don't want the gorgeous grape to bleed in with it. Aha. Look at how pretty that is. Just a little wash around it. That is very nice. Very nice. So you can do the wash before, or like you saw, I just put that little wash around it. Definitely need to be careful though, because you don't want to get into that watercolor based gorgeous grape. So now on this one, I'm going to grab the You're Not Alone again. I hope you know. And I'm going to do it with this, which did I do on the card? I used the one that had this one that had the little torn edge there. So I'm going to use the one that has the little banner end. Make sure I'm up and down the right way. Yes, I am. Oh, I feel that one's a little too high. This is the issue when you stamp after you've die cut out. There we are. And one more. One more. There we are. And just like I did before, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of that nod of the Daffodil Delight on the edges. Great. And this one, I am going to do a little trim of the one side. There we are. And then get our smaller pieces. Right, like so. I really like this stamp set, the Softly Sketched. I love this distinctive stamping that Stampin' Up! Has. This one's going to come up top here, just about like that. Just hope you know. And then from there, I've got the beautiful gems here. I'm going to use these little ones because they're so pretty. I'll have one here. I'll bring one down right over here. And one more, just kitty corner from that one right there. And then the inside of the card, I just hope you know you are not alone. I love you, how amazing you are, and you're not alone. What happens, I notice, that everybody seems to need those birthday cards, and then they need to use those Get Well or Sympathy. So this is perfect. You are not alone with our gorgeous grape. Let's make sure. Yes. I always go on different parts of my stamp pad to make sure I am getting what I need. All right. Let's go ahead and close that up. Let's take a look at our cards today. 3 cards on our Sunday Simple Stamping. We've got 3 cards with, of course, our envelopes. Very nice. This was the first. Just hope you know how amazing you really are. Our hello, hello, hello. I love you. And just hope you know you're not alone. Now, what would be really fun on the envelopes before heading off is to do just a little fun thing here. Now on each of our envelopes, gonna do that little squeeze. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna ink up I'm gonna grab a little piece of scrap here. Where do I have my little scraps? Just gonna put that right there because I just don't really want stuff on my, and I'm gonna go ahead and put just a part of that right there. Then I'll bring this in and I'm gonna do just a little wash around my grapes on the envelope. Then I will pull in the fresh freesia for the next envelope. Switch out the image and just get part of that. Just put that right there. Go ahead and stamp. Ooh, look how bold that is. That's beautiful. And I should be able to continue with my Daffodil Delight here. There we are. How pretty is that? And then one more. And that's with the crumb cake. And our pretty cotton. Go ahead and ink up just a little bit of that. Bring it back over here. Onto the envelope. Oh, look at how pretty that one is. That is so pretty. And then do a little squeeze to get this a little more wet here. Need a little more. Just squeeze to make it really light. Just to give it a little hint of that yellow. Now I think we are set. So let's take a look. We used our gorgeous grape, we used crumb cake and fresh freesia. Oh boy, my crumb cake is wanting to be tough to close. And our fresh freesia, we used our water painters. There's the set of 3 water painters with 3 different thicknesses of brush tips. So now we have our envelopes to match the cards we did today. That will be a very nice set of note cards with envelopes. Just a nice little trio. Adding a little bit of dimension on some with the labels there from the Happy Labels. And then right here, just our hello, hello, hello. So there we are, guys. 3 note cards and envelopes with the softly sketched stamp set. So, so pretty. And remember, I have a link below if you want to find more information on my March Madness, how you can get the March Madness card kit free with a purchase, as well as be in for the drawing for Mystery Hostess. So check out the links below. And until next time, happy stampin'.